Hey everyone, welcome back to Life Beyond Board Games, where board gamers just like you share stories, challenges, and secrets outside of board gaming. Not too many secrets, though. I can't
No.
have my lawyers getting on my case again.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll make you feel good, laugh, cringe, cry, or maybe fall asleep. I've been working on my, my audiobook voice, where I'm like, and for the next part of this pie, you're going to add actually 5 grams of sodium. But, we're working on it. I'm Eric from What's Eric Playing?
And I'm Stella from Maple University, and today we have another special guest for you. Another well-loved Australian board game designer, Phil Walker Harding, who designed games such as Sushi Go Party, Gizmos, Baron Park, Imhotep, and a lot more. Such a prolific designer. Hello, Phil. Welcome.
There are a lot.
Hello. Great to be
you.
here. Thank you.
Thank you for making it here and be with us and share your things with us today. What things are they? We are going to talk about how to deal with rejections. So, how long have you been designing board games, Phil?
Well, I started just as sort of a hobby, I guess goes back to 2005-6 when I first started dabbling. Not like right as soon as I got into modern board games, pretty much, I started designing. So it was a hobby for a couple of years there, then very slowly started to get things published and did some self-publishing. But all up, that's like 20 years now, which is pretty incredible to think.
It's hurtful when you say it like that, but yeah, it has been 20 years since then. I was just like, ugh, didn't like that.
Yeah, I remember it so well.
And how many board games have you actually designed that already published?
Oh, that's a good question. It depends how you count them, because of expansions and spin-offs and promos and all that stuff. But somewhere in the realm of like 30, let's say.
30. Only 30?
Yeah.
I feel like it's more than that. Anyways, I'm sure there are more coming.
I'm also just like, I've played a lot of your games, and I was like, really? 30? 30 feels like a...
Well, that's the most conservative accounting.
Yes, okay.
But I think, like, if you look at BGG, it's probably way more because, lots of expansions and spin-offs and all those things.
Right, and especially for some of the, like, more European games, they have, like, individual entries for, like, a tile that appeared in a magazine in 2013 that one time.
Yeah.
That's right, exactly.
Which I like. It makes looking at Carcassonne very stressful.
Yes, yeah. For my game Cities, we've done so many promo city boards that my head is spinning. I can't even keep track of how many promo boards there are.
That's half the fun, though, right? Is you want to have a game where you can like have a bunch of promos, and then you can just have like one really silly one.
Well, we did all these, like, Prague and San Francisco and all these important places, and then the Dice Tower asked us to do one, and so I decided we'd make the achievements the different Dice Tower conventions. So that was pretty silly, and then on the board there's a picture of a big hat. So,
Amazing.
That makes sense. I assume the entire Dice Tower lives inside of a large hat.
Yes.
I don't have good data one way or the other. That's just what I'm assuming.
Broadcast from a fedora, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it's a top hat.
That makes a lot of sense. No, a top hat's round all the way around and flat on the top.
Yeah. Well, that's what Tom usually wears, not?
No, he usually wears. I mean, I don't actually know off the top of my head. I was like, he usually wears, and I was like, huh. I have no idea. I don't think it's a top hat, though. Top hats are very, like, tuxedo core. Like,
I don't know. He wears something. He wears a hat. Always.
Yeah, I'm positive he wears a hat. I don't know what kind of hat it is. From a lack of seeing, not a lack of knowledge of hats, I think is.
It does. Well, I guess back to your games again, Phil. I guess you lost track after 30 games or so, which is fair. It's like age. Once you hit 40,
I don't often count them up. Yeah.
I was supposed to say, you're not counting the individual cities boards because that will drive you to madness.
Definitely not.
So back again to our topic, the actual topic. So considering you've designed games for such a long time, and I don't know if you still experience rejection. do you still experience rejection, or is it still something that is obviously less and less? How does that work?
Imagine coming on here and being like, I've never been rejected before in my life. And I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
that's a power move.
Oh, wow. Oh, tell me your secret.
just me going, this is an incredible flex for this episode.
Now you got to share our secret.
I'm impervious to rejection. No. I think yes. The answer is yes. And I think the more I stay doing game design, and the more that feeling doesn't go away, I think I've shifted it. Like, I think I used to think if I got to a point where I was making games as a full-time thing and I had a few hits, then I would start to feel more confident and feel rejection less. But that hasn't been the case. And I think it's shifted my thinking a bit about all this to thinking that actually for most creative people who make creating something their main thing, usually I find that being quite sensitive and sensitive to rejection is kind of just built in to their personality. Like, I've chatted with some of the biggest game designers in the world who seem confident people who really, really struggle with rejection too. Like, I just think it's built into, like, if you're a creative person, you're gearing your whole mind often, for most of your day to what makes, my art good, what makes it bad, how can I improve it? You're so in the minutiae of what it means to put something out into the world that you're just so attuned to the good and the bad and the success and the failure in your work that I just think it makes you like hyper aware and sensitive. Like, I can't explain it any better than that. But
well, you're putting a part of yourself into everything that you do, right?
Yes.
Like, if I designed, if Sella gave us both a pitch and you designed a game based off that pitch and I designed a game based off that pitch, they'd probably be like very different games, right? Because we're different people and we bring our own sensibilities. So if someone says, I don't want this, at least for some of this creative stuff I do, it's occasionally hard for me to disassociate that from, this isn't the right fit for me. Also, you personally aren't the right fit. There's something wrong with you.
Yes.
And that, like, what I've tasted my fair share of rejection. What I usually think about in that circumstance is not just the like binary success failure metric, but also like, I always tell people the first rule of comedy is know your audience, right? Yeah. And so it's a question of like, is it that there's something wrong with my product, or is it that there's something wrong with my pitch, or am I pitching the right product the right way to the wrong people?
Sounds like a mismatch.
Yes, and I think, and I think when it comes to getting rejection from publishers, so like, here's my game, I've submitted it to you, and they say no. That's the one area where I do think I have been able to get a handle on some of these feelings for that reason you say, Eric, which is so many publisher rejections, especially a bit later in your career, are about that, like just the fit not being right. Every publisher has a catalog of games, they have a schedule, they have their own audience and their own marketing style. Some games just don't fit at the right time, and the more I think new designers understand that, I think it helps you like bounce back after a rejection, because it's pretty rare a rejection is just, we love the idea, we love the concept, we love but it's just so bad we can't publish. Like, that's normally what. That's
just them being like, man, we think you're great. It's just this game is absolute trash.
Yeah. Usually it's just like, oh, this isn't for us. That's almost.
I'd walk into the ocean.
Yeah, that's right. So I think that's a great thing to keep in mind, that audience, like, there are so many different types of games in our hobby that all kind of get lumped into being dealt with together. And, and sometimes you'll pitch something to a publisher and it's just not what they're looking for in terms of style or genre, and that's fine. And you just, you go on to the next one. You look out for publishers, you get attuned to publishers who are like working in your zone, in your wavelength, and they're the ones you try and.
You might have the best, like the game design of the year, but if you're pitching it to Button Shy and they're like, well, we really only do 18 card micro games, and you're like, yeah, but this one's got dice, and they're like, but we really only do 18 card micro games. Of course, that rejection's not going to be personal. Like, it's going to be a little bit personal because they're like, how did you not know this before you came and made this pitch?
I think that's probably not going to be a mistake that professional board game designers would make. I mean, people would come to you as well.
Well, not at that severe of a level, right?
Yeah,
but there are still going to be things where you're like, okay, thematically, I think this fits inside of your brand, but complexity-wise, it might be a little bit of a mismatch, and you're hoping that maybe the publisher is going to be expanding their brand. Like, I know Capstone is starting to publish lighter games, but they may not be looking for this specific thing. Like, there's so much complexity inside of the business side of it that I know nothing about.
Yes, correct.
I have a game that I've pitched now to something like 12 different publishers who have all said no. But I'm still pretty confident in the design. I just know it's so specific that it's going to take someone, a publisher who totally gets it and totally wants to do this slightly off the beaten path idea.
I do really enjoy playing those, though. Like, I love playing a game, sitting afterwards and being like, well, that was weird.
Yeah,
and I think this is one of those. Yeah.
All right. So when you say
that's
weird,
great.
When you say weird, though, I mean, these days, isn't that sometimes what people are looking for, considering there are so many board games? And weird, is that innovative? Is that weird? I mean, how about, Phil, pitch it to us in a few sentences. Maybe one of the listeners is a publisher and interested.
Yeah, I was going to say neither of, or actually, I was like, I'm not a publisher. Stella's been a publisher. Are you still publishing?
No, not anymore. No, just focus on the Maple University part now.
Reasonable.
All right, let's hear it, Phil.
So it's not that weird as in innovate. It's almost the problem with this design is it sounds completely uninnovative. And so it's a trivia game, right?
I do love a trivia game.
And this is one word. A lot of publishers, as soon as they hear the word trivia, they will run for the hills.
Absolutely.
Because, there was a glut of trivia games in the 80s and 90s. That genre kind of burned out.
Yes.
And people have like real grievances, I think, with how some of those games just test random knowledge against each other.
It's frustrating because people who were playing trivia games in the 80s and 90s, there's been 40 extra years of stuff happening. And so they're all like, ho, I know all these things. And I'm like, yeah, but I have to know even more things. Yeah. I have to know your stuff and the recent stuff. So much has happened.
So what is so different about this?
So this trivia game's different because, look, sorry, I'm not here to pitch, but...
Yeah, no, I'm interested. I'm really curious now.
You can always be here to pitch. Fine. Yeah, I'm also interested now.
Okay, so it's different because, number one, it's co-op. So you're all working together to come up with the right answer, which straight away takes away one of the biggest problems with trivia games, which is just, who amongst your friends is going to look smart, So it takes that mostly out. And the other thing is, the way it kind of scores, I suppose, is as a group you decide how certain you are in your answer, and you essentially, I guess, bet how many points you think you'll win. So it's much more about a conversation around together, what do we think the right answer is, but more importantly, how sure are we of that answer? So it's pretty close to, I modeled it on the table discussions that happen when you're at pub trivia, when you're working as a team to answer a question. So it feels to me much more like a conversational, almost party game. Like, how certain are we of this? Let's talk it through. How much are we willing to bet that we're right? And so it doesn't feel like a trivia game really at all to me, but it's quite hard to pitch because trivia is kind of the main mechanism.
Right. And trivia is so aggressively, like, I'd say almost taboo in like modern games. I see like in the, as we said, glut of games that have been coming out recently, I might see one trivia game a year that's not coming out from like places that are like places like the Op that are publishing like kind of the mass market stuff as well.
You might as well say, oh, it's a monopoly, and then it's the same effect. No, sorry, I'm being a snob.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, it is a bit like that. So like hobby publishers aren't interested usually because it's trivia. And then like mass publishers are like, we might do a bit of trivia, but then this is kind of a bit gamery for what trivia usually is. There's a few extra rules and stuff. So it's in this really weird position. And it's And that's fine. Like, it's just I just need to wait until someone comes along who gets that vision and wants to do it. And that might not happen for a long time. Yeah.
What is the working title?
The working title is Quiz Monster, because you're working against the quiz monster as a team. Who's asking
I thought you were like a
questions.
multi-headed trivia monster for a second.
No.
I was very excited. I was like, finally my dream.
Funny thing, something came to mind. This actually reminds me of Jackbox. Now, have you heard of Jackbox?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Can you approach it? I mean, this is like, I just thought of that Jackbox where, it's Jackbox, the board game. So they would have something like this, or this could be one of the ideas for Jackbox, one of the mini games they always like come up with, stuff like that.
It's actually, like it feels a lot like playing a Jackbox game.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, from a reviewer standpoint, a Jackbox party pack board game would make me want to kill myself, but that's just because from the way I structure my reviews, reviewing a game where the game contains many small games is extremely painful for my review process. I can do it, I just don't like to. I struggle a lot with it.
Well, I'm hoping that somebody will hear this, maybe, or give you some ideas. Like, I don't know, sometimes saying things out loud, maybe it will be, invoke some ideas or something like that.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes.
But I do think it speaks back to what we were talking about earlier, right? Is that like you're not viewing it as like, you're confident in the design, and it's more of there's an alignment here happening between where the industry is heading, what publishers are looking for, and this design that you're confident in. Yes. And there's actually something perfectly valid about waiting for all those pieces to come together.
Yes, that's right. And that's something at the beginning of your design career is a bit harder to feel. Like, no, I've got 12 rejections, I'll keep going. Like, it's harder at the beginning because you might only have ever designed one or two things. And so you're only used to getting responses. You're very new to getting responses like that. So
and there's an element of timing. Like, there's trends, right? Like, are we still on a trick-taking binge, like, in the industry writ large? Because I feel like after the Crew got really big, everyone was publishing trick-taking games for a while. And then there was something where we were all doing roll and writes for a while.
Yeah, that was before trick-taking, pretty sure.
Yeah, roll and writes, then trick-taking. I worried for a little while the next big thing was going to be app-integrated stuff. And I was going to be like, no, but I need my phone while I'm playing because my friends take too long on their turns.
But I mean, that's another great point is, as a designer, you really feel these trends flow. So I remember there was a period where I felt like if I pitched a roll and write, it had a pretty good shot. You know what I mean? Looked at. But now, I'd say almost the opposite. When someone comes to me with a roll and write idea, I'm usually like, oh, I think that ship has sailed almost. Like,
we did a bunch of roll and writes.
Yeah.
There was a lot of roll and writes there for a hot minute. I still love trick taking. Give me a weird trick taker and I'll just play that to death. But
same.
But there have been a lot of trick taking games.
Well, I want to ask you a different type of question. It's still in the same sense. I know that you started your own publishing company, Joey Game, right? So there is no, as so-called rejection there, because you just put whatever you want. Or you
actually, the rejections there are the worst, I imagine.
This is the worst thing you've ever done. Oh man!
It's just you looking in the mirror and being like, "You son of a bitch."
This is coming from someone with 30 published designs.
Very sad, Eric. I mean, do you feel like the rejection would be like a filter that you may even need before you publish a game yourself? I mean, I don't know how.
So you're opening quite the can of worms here, Stella, because I have found, running, me and Meredith, my wife, who run Joey Games, that it feels so much more sensitive to put a game out into the world with no publisher buffer in between. Because normally when I put a game out, it goes like someone else does the art, someone else does the marketing, someone else writes the rule book, someone else, like there's other people involved in every step. So when it makes it out into the world, yes, it's my work, but it's also the work of 10 other people, Whereas with Joey, we do pretty much everything ourselves.
Right.
So when our games go out into the world, what Eric was saying about feeling like you're putting some of yourself into it.
Yeah.
I found it, much more that feeling.
Even more so, I imagine.
Is really big. So for people who do self-publish, and there are a lot of designers now who decide to publish their first designs themselves, it has that extra level, I think, of sensitivity. And I guess I would say, I mean, I don't have any like amazing tips for how to deal with it, but I just think you need to you can't separate yourself from your work because you're in your work. But at the same time, while acknowledging that, I also think you have to remember you're more than your work. You're not just your work. And if your work gets a negative review or doesn't go well or it fails, that doesn't mean you're a failure or something is wrong with everything
separation.
you are, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the great balancing act of all this. Yeah. Humans make mistakes. We're allowed to make mistakes. We're allowed to put something out that doesn't go well. And somewhere in there, you need to survive.
Yeah, I was going to say, this also works some idea towards, like, what can you do to mitigate those risks, right? And so this is where, like, at least with board games, one of the things I tell people is, like, I occasionally get some flack because I tend to be on the higher end of scoring-wise, and I'm like, that's because I think most games are good. Like, for every board game, someone had to play this and go, yeah, this was fun, let's release it, I imagine. And so, like, I always caution people if they're thinking about like self-publishing or thinking about getting into that area, they should still do things like go to playtester meetups, like work with playtesters. Like I just got off of a run of judging awards or judging like Cardboard Edison designs. I really like Cardboard Edison. I think the work that they do for like up and coming designers with their prototypes is really excellent because they get feedback from a bunch of judges who are reading through their who are reading through their rule book and watching the pitch. I like all that stuff because it helps you understand how other people perceive your work without necessarily going through all of the intensity of like, here's a super intense pitch meeting, right?
Totally. And if you self-publish, that doesn't mean you like opt out of all the testing and putting the game in front of lots of different people.
Hopefully, at least.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen some games where I'm like, oh, you just went straight to market with this one. Wild.
Now Phil's fine. I've played Phil's game. Develop and design. It's fine.
Because the more you do get feedback in the process, like the more confident you are. Like if you put out a game because all of your playtest groups are having a great time with it and you feel really confident that it's got its place, and then it doesn't do well, like you then can start thinking, maybe it didn't find its audience. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't marketed in the right way. Maybe something didn't add up there. But you don't go away going like, oh, the game is horrible and I suck. Because you've
or even
seen
like, sometimes you just get straight up unlucky, right? Like if you were like, you know what, I'm going to design this really cool cooperative trick-taking game, and you happen to release it a month before the crew just kicked everyone in the teeth, you're suddenly just like, that's a bummer.
Like, and this happens more and more. Like a lot of what game designers talk about when they get together now is so many games come out a year now that the window of which games get their moment in the sun is getting less and less and less and less and less. And so many great games are coming out now that are just disappearing in a month. And and sometimes they're good games.
Yeah, publishers don't necessarily have the money to market them as aggressively. Like, publishers feel like they need to... Like, it's a vicious cycle as well, because publishers are now in the cycle where they have to be releasing games constantly, because since everyone else is releasing games constantly, if they only release one game, then that's going to be buried in a month by the sea of other games, and it just becomes a mess. Like, we see this on the reviewer end, too. I do 2 reviews a week, which I think is a pretty good pace, and I can't even begin to keep up with what's coming out.
Absolutely. It's just so much. You shouldn't see my board games room.
This is the one that this is the room I cleaned up.
And if you put out a good game, if you put out a game and you're confident in it and the publisher's confident in it and it just disappears really without much of a trace in the hobby, that really hurts because everyone was like, oh, this was good. But again, it's another moment to go, okay, maybe it wasn't that the game's terrible or I'm terrible. Maybe there are many other factors in why certain games don't go on to have a really productive life.
Yeah.
And
Especially these days.
and it's getting, I can tell you, it is definitely getting worse. And I feel like the ratio of my releases, which, don't really do much, is gone way up. And I think most designers would say the same thing. It's just where the hobby's kind of shifting and morphing.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's like back when I was a kid, there were like 6 board games, right? Everyone was playing one of
Yes.
Life, Clue, Pretty Princess, Monopoly, Scrabble, and I want to say
Snake and Ladder? Don't know.
Please, Stella. We were educated.
Come on.
I was like, Boggle? No, nobody was playing Boggle. Anyone who says they played Boggle is a liar. Like Boggle is just used to test C++ code and nothing else.
Okay. Well,
but
I like
now there's
Boggle.
like, yeah, I mean, Big Boggle is fun. It's Boggle, but every big version of a game is fun, Phil.
Yeah.
but you wouldn't recommend that now.
Even when I started designing, I felt like I could keep track of all the publishers and what they were doing this year. And
Right.
so if I was going to pitch, it's like, I have some sense of the industry about where I could maybe position my game. But now you walk into Gen Con or Essen, like you can't conceive of everything that's happening. And so that just makes all of this a bit more fraught.
So you're not pitching a Kingdom Death Monster roll and write anytime soon?
No.
Okay. Sorry, listeners. I know if you came to this specific episode counting on that announcement, it's not here.
Did you say that you feel a bit fraud?
I said fraught, as in it's a bit complicated and a bit tricky at the moment in the industry to be a
very much so.
Right. So what I hear so far, correct me if I'm wrong, rejections, I mean, everyone deals with that, not just the board games, but the main thing is to shift the way of thinking to things like try to be less sensitive, don't take things personally, separate your work and yourself, and trying to see the process of elimination, see what worked, what didn't work, and then just move on. I mean, I made it like easy, but I know it's just like a lot of work internally as well. But
And listeners, if you need practice handling rejection, just send us some of your heartfelt stuff and we'll tell you that it sucks. That's
free.
A service we're happy to do.
Personally to
like,
Eric.
Do you have a poem you've been working on? Do you paint? Are you really emotionally invested in it? Send it to us. We'll tell you it's bad. I won't even look at it. And that's just the advice of my attorney.
I swear that's not how Eric does his review. All right.
Oh no, God! If I did that for my reviews would be so much faster. God. Why would I waste? I was like, why would I waste all this time?
I suppose the other thread of this is just, sometimes you do get negative feedback that's deserved. And, maybe your game needs a bit of extra work, or maybe you missed something, or there is somewhere in all of this, the skill and the muscle memory of like being able to take good criticism, fair criticism,
silver lining in the feedback. I mean, not all of them came through like constructive, but and
it's not just constructive, but also instructive, right? What will you do for next time?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, how can I take it as an opportunity to grow and improve? Because you do really, it's a bit naff to say it, but every game that ends up in the bin as a failure, you've learnt something, and all of those learnings add up over time. So,
yes.
Especially if you're a new designer and you get some harsh criticism or feedback, or a playtest just completely fails, really think of it as an opportunity to go, okay, what didn't work? And I'm going to learn. I'm going to level up from this. That's how I try to think about it. Anyway.
Even if what you learned is that you shouldn't pitch my first Kingdom Death Monster to Hava.
Experience gained.
And that's a mistake anyone could make.
Yeah. Yes. Well, experience gained, and we learn from it. Oh. That is a good lesson from it. Thank you so much for sharing this, Phil.
Oh, my pleasure. It was a nice chat.
Yes, thanks everyone for listening as well. We hope we made a good companion for your driving, your house chores, your various routines. Once again, if you enjoy this episode, it would mean a lot to us if you could follow us and leave a review. If you start getting the idea, however, that we're looking for rejection, you leave us bad reviews, that's not appreciated and it's not allowed. So, keep that in mind, and we'll catch you all in our next episode. Thanks for listening.
Thanks again, Phil. Bye, everyone.
My pleasure. Bye.